Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a highly requested base tutorial and I'm really excited to do this because I'm finally doing what you guys are asking me to do, which is to film my base, because you guys are used to seeing me kind of like show my eyes and everything and how I blend and everything like that, but I have not been doing my base. For a while my base was pretty much the same, so that's why I really didn't show too many different base tutorials, because it was the same. Like I'm the worst person with bases because, well, really sometimes products in general, because I use the same stuff all the time, and I know that you guys probably want me to switch it up a little bit so you can feel like my review on different products and see if you like it too or whatever. So finally I'm going to be filming this, and I have a lot of products to show you that I've never really showcased on my channel. Mainly, like, I'll put it in the description box or I'll post it on my, my Instagram, but not really on YouTube. So finally I'm filming this for you guys, so let's get started. So I did wash my face. I feel like having a great base, you need to do skincare. Like, skincare is key to having a great long-lasting base. I'm going to be starting off with the primer. I'm going to be using the Milani Supercharged Dewy Primer. Honestly guys, I have not found a primer that works for me. Like, every primer I've tried, they've done pretty much great, but there's nothing that has really like blown my mind away to where I'm like, you guys have to buy this. So honestly, this product I'm just kind of trying. I did try it yesterday, and I mean I liked the way I looked yesterday, but not saying that it was this specifically that made my base look great, but just letting you know that this is not something I've been using consistently. So just keep that in mind, that I don't really have a primer to recommend you guys, just because I'm not really a primer person. I feel like if your skin care routine is really good, that in itself to me is form of primer, because that really helps your makeup look really good. Now I'm going to use this NARS Soft Matte Foundation. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't really care for matte foundations. I usually like to look really dewy, and I know I'm using this dewy primer with this matte foundation, but I just want to do that. Okay, so use whatever primer you want, but I am going to be using the soft matte foundation, and you guys know that I don't really go for matte foundations, but this one I really love. It's matte, full coverage. It covers all of my problematic areas, and it also is breathable. Like, for me, this matte foundation does not feel too dry, or does it look too dry. Like, I hate matte foundations that look really dry on the skin. This one for me does not do that, so that's why I really like this one. So I'm gonna be using this one today. This one is in the color, I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but Syracuse. Gonna be using this color, but this color on me is a little bit too light, especially in my jawline and neck area. So I do like to use this Lancome. It's in the color Suede, and this is their, I don't even know how to pronounce their stuff, because some of their stuff is in a different language, I believe. I don't know. But I'll put it in the description box, the name of this makeup stick. But yeah, I'm gonna be using this color Suede on my jawline first, just because it's a little bit darker, and I just hate when my foundation, it looks really light at the top and then it just does not match. I got this color, didn't realize it wasn't gonna work, so I'm just trying to work with it. So, but next time I'll definitely get a darker color. First, I like to put this stick on, and then I'll use this Sephora Pro Foundation 56 brush to just kind of work it into my jawline, and then I'll blend this up. Obviously, you probably don't have to do this step if your foundation matches you, but I'm just showing you guys what I like to do. Like that, and now I'll go in with my NARS foundation. Sometimes I'll use a beauty blender and that will work great, or sometimes I'll use a brush. Today I'm going to be using a brush, and I'm going to be using the MAKIAGE 100 foundation blending brush to apply this foundation. And I usually just like to kind of swipe like that and then just blend this out. And you can see this is like really bright, so up against my neck it would just be like crazy, but it still kind of works for a little bit for the rest of my face. Now I'm just going to blend this out. I like to do just tapping motions as if I was using a beauty blender. I'll just kind of blend this a little further down, blending it into that foundation stick that I used earlier, and then also blending this everywhere else. So there's not really much to this part. I'm just literally just putting it on. Oh, and also on my eyes underneath here, I have the Anastasia eye primer on my lid. I just wanted to kind of outline my brows first before doing my base because I like them to be defined underneath, and I just like to do that step first. And once I finish that part, I'll usually go back a little bit with more foundation around certain areas that I want just a little bit more coverage and blend it out. And next I'm going to be using this Benefit Boi-ing Cakeless concealer. This is actually another favorite. I really like this concealer. I've literally only been using it for like a week now, and I can tell that this is going to be my next favorite because it is a creaseless full coverage concealer. And I feel like with most concealers, obviously they're going to crease if they're still wet, and some of them still look creasy after you set it. But with this one, I feel like it does such a great job with not creasing even after I set it. So I really like this one, and it's full coverage. Currently, I've been using a few concealers and they say they're full coverage, but to me, I'm still like seeing through it underneath here. So this one for me, I don't see through it. So I'm just going to apply this with my brush. My like applicator broke from this, so I have to kind of like apply it this way, but I literally will just apply it all the way under here. Apply some on the forehead. I personally like a bright concealer, so that's why I'm using this color. I also like to apply it right here because I feel like I have that little peach fuzz mustache, so I like to kind of brighten it right here. And also like do on the chin. And by the way, this color is number 6.5. And this is one of those products that I definitely plan on buying again because this is it. And I don't know if this makes a difference, but I am going in with a dry beauty blender, and I have not tried this product with a wet beauty blender yet, so I'm not sure if the wet one will kind of like pick up too much product, but I have been using it dry, so I've just been keeping it that way because I don't want to change the way it looks. I don't know if you guys can tell, but do you see the coverage? Like, and I have like slight dark circles, so this is able to really hold together and not look like see-through. Like, I just hate when foundations are full coverage, but you literally can see through it. Okay, now I look light bright, so I'm going to use this concealer by Lancome. This is their Maquicomplet. I don't know how to say it. This is in the color Suede, and I like this color. So I like to use this as like a cream contour on my face. I'm actually kind of running out of it because I've been using it so much. So this is like the next step that I like to do, is to kind of warm up my face with a cream first. I like to layer, so I like to layer with the cream and then I'll go back with the powder on top to deepen it even more. I'm going to be using the Sephora Pro Foundation 56 brush again to blend this out. I like to go in sections because this concealer dries really fast, so you don't want to like do your whole face because it literally will not want to move. So I like to kind of do one section at a time, starting with my forehead, and again I'm just doing some like tapping motions and just blending this out. And now I'm going to do this on the sides of my cheeks as well. Of course, putting it right below my cheekbone where I would contour or bronze, and just blend it out. And whatever product is left over on the brush, I will use on my nose. So I'll just kind of tap in on the side of my nose just to contour it a little bit. Next, I'm going to set my face. And this is something a little bit different than I normally do I usually will use the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I've been switching to the color Honey because that color suits me a lot better than the lighter one. I always will love that product, but something that kind of had turned my head a little bit is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. I'm using the number 2. The reason I grabbed the number 2 is because I wanted to use this underneath my eye to really smooth and brighten my eye. I obviously am not going to use this color all over my face just because it's a little too light for the rest of my face, but I do like to use this for underneath my eye and on my forehead, basically in my highlighted areas. So yeah, I really love this product, guys. This also has been another fave. I plan to buy this more. To me, this one it just looks a little bit more hydrating than the Laura Mercier powder that I've been using. It's not as drying. I just hate looking dry underneath my eye, and it just makes my skin look really smooth. I also feel like it helps with my pores looking smaller as well, so I just love this one a lot. And I'm going to be using this to set underneath my eyes. I will take my beauty blender and kind of like go underneath my eye here. I just want to make sure that I'm not creasing once I set it, because when you set it when it's creasing already, it'll look that way. It'll stay looking that way. So I like to kind of like really blend it out, make sure that I'm not creasing. And then before I even do anything on the other eye, I will take my Real Techniques setting brush, grab some of that Charlotte Tilbury powder and add it underneath there. And then I just like to tap in the product. And you can see this shade number 2 did not make my concealer darker. If I grabbed the shade number 3, it definitely would have made it darker, because that one's suitable more for the rest of my face, not for my highlighted areas. Another key tip is to definitely set your makeup at the end, like with setting spray. That's like a must. And I will show you what I use for that part, but it also helps the powder just settle into the skin nicely, like when you wet it like that. So you have to have that as well. And then basically I'll put this powder in all my other highlighted areas. So on my chin, on the top of my lip, on like the bridge of my nose, and on the center of my forehead. Next, I'm going to be taking Maybelline's Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation, well, powder, in the color 332 Golden Caramel. And I'm just going to be using this crown brush. This is the C403. It's not my favorite brush, but I just use it just to use it. And first I like to kind of like tap in the product. And I basically will put this on the rest of my face, not including the contour area, because we're going to contour that with an actual, darker color, so I'm not going to put this on top of that. But yeah, I just like to kind of put this on the rest of my face here. I like to tap it in first, and then I'll kind of like swipe it on. Next, another product that I've been loving is this Koffee Cosmetics contour palette. This is in the color medium deep. Recently, I have not been liking the contour shades that I've been using for a while, which is one of them. I'll show you. You guys might be familiar with this, but this is the MAC Cosmetics Mineralized Skin Finish in the color Dark Tan. For me, lately, I think maybe, I don't know if it's because I'm getting a little bit darker tanner, but this color has just not been working for me anymore. It's a little too light now, so I've been needing something a little bit deeper, and I could just get a darker shade, obviously, but I just am too lazy to do all of that. Koffee Cosmetics actually sent this to me, and I've been using it for a long time now, and I absolutely love it because it's the perfect shades. I've been using these 2 shades here. So first I'll go in with this lighter shade, and I'm using my Real Techniques contour brush, and I'll use the lighter shade first, and then I'll go in here and warm up my face a little bit more on top of that cream contour. And I like to just kind of like tap in the product, because usually if I swipe, especially being that this brush is a little bit more dense and shorter, it just kind of like takes away the product with it. So I like to kind of just tap it on. And I feel like this lighter color is definitely deepening up that cream contour. So I'm just kind of like layering and deepening up the look even more. And then of course going in on my forehead as well. And then now I also like to take whatever is left over on my brush and just work it into the sides of my nose. I'm not really big on contouring my nose. And now I'll go in with that darker color there and I'll just deepen up the side here and I'll gently swipe back and forth. But I like to just kind of keep it tucked in the back here. I don't like to bring it too far because it is darker and I don't want it all over the place. Next, I'm going to be using Il Makiage's Baked Mineral Highlighter in the color Material Girl. And this highlighter, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is too dark for my face. But I like to use it to highlight glow for my contour areas. So this is really good if you have like oily skin and you use a matte foundation but you really want to look glowy. This is a good trick to do. So what I do is I'll take my contour brush and I'll spray it with a setting spray. I'm using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist and I'll tap my brush onto the product and I'll just kind of go on top of my contour with the highlighter. And since it's too dark for my skin tone, it's not going to look bright. It's actually just going to really blend into my contour, but it's just going to make it look really glowy, and I love looking glowy, so this is like a really good step if you're gonna end up looking more matte but you want that glow still. Next, I'm going to use blush. I'm going to use an OG blush that some of you guys might remember. It is the MAC Cosmetics Gingerly blush, and this is just such a pretty blush. It's a really nice everyday blush, and I'm going to be applying this with my Morphe M405 brush, and this is just how I like to apply my blush. I just like to kind of tap it in. I'll usually just kind of blend it also into my contour so that it all flows together because I don't want it to look like two separate things or whatever. But I also just do this and just kind of put it, you know, on the apples of my cheeks there. And then sometimes I'll get my brush that had setting powder on it with no extra product and just kind of go around the blush just to kind of like blend it into everything. And now I'm going to use highlight. So this highlighter that I've been using, I really love this one. This is by Kaleidos. This is their Space Age highlighter in the color Prophecy. And if you have not checked out Kaleidos, their brand is so beautiful. Their whole vibe is just very unique. You know, most brands look the same, like very close to the same products, everything same like kind of aesthetic. But Kaleidos is very unique, and that's what I love about them. Their packaging to their concepts and like storytelling with their palettes is very pretty, and even their shimmers are so stunning. Like you don't really see it in some of these brands, so I like this brand a lot. Definitely check them out. So to apply this, I'm going to be using the Morphe, what is this called? R31 brush. I'm just going to take a little bit of this on my brush, and I like to just kind of put highlight right here in that area on my cheekbones, and I just like to kind of like put it on like that. And if there's too much on my brush, I usually will just go on the other side because I don't like it to look like too crazy. I'll just go right here. But yeah, this color is so pretty, and sometimes the highlight will get a little bit into my blush, so I'll go back with my blush just to kind of like blend it in. And now what I'm going to do next is my brows. So I'm going to take Arm Cosmetics, it's their brow aid. It's like basically like a brow pomade, and it's in the color dark brown, and I'm going to be applying this with my MAC 263 brush. And before I put this on, I like to grab some of the product onto the brush, and then I'll just kind of like swipe the sides because, you know, just like with the Anastasia pomade, it's really pigmented, really dark, so you kind of want to like take your time with it. You don't want to use too much. First, before I apply it on, I'm just going to brush my brows up in place, and then I like to take the product on my brush, and I like to start with my tail first, so I'll just kind of let me zoom you guys in. So I like to start first with my tail and just kind of drag it down like that, just so that I kind of get that nice like sharp line. And then I'll take the product up to the rest of my brow and kind of like softly put it in the front because I don't want it to be too dark in the front. And I'll just kind of flick it flick the product up into my brow and then just really start blending it out. And then at the very top of my brow, whatever product is left over, because at this point it's not that much product left, I'll start kind of like outlining the top. I might have to grab a little bit more product for this part, and I'll start outlining my brow. And I'm also going to kind of brush the product through. And this brush here that I'm using is the Anastasia number 12 brush. Now I'm going to use a brow gel. I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt in clear, and I'm just going to set my brows in place. I also like to use this if I'm not wearing any makeup. Now I'm going to set my makeup. I'm still going to do my eyes and everything like that, but I'm just going to set everything before I do that. Also, another tip, I did forget to do this, but using setting spray after you kind of do your creams before you do any powder is really good too. I've heard that your makeup lasts longer. I've done it before and I did like it, so I do recommend trying that as well for your makeup to last longer. But yeah, now I'm just going to set my face with this. I do like to put a lot. And then what I'll do is I'll take my little fan here and fan my face. And then I feel like after you do that, like you put a good amount, you'd like see the product just melt together even better. And I'm also going to use the Patrick Ta Dewy Milk Mist. I've never tried this before, but I wanted to try it on top of that just because I like to try stuff. This is the She's Thirsty one. So we'll see how this will do. Now what I like to do is take a makeup wipe and I like to remove some of the makeup from my lips. So I'll also do that for my mole as well. And then I'll do it for my lip. I like to outline them with the makeup wipe. For my lips, I still love the MAC Cosmetics liners to this day. I have a couple other brands of liners that I've tried, and another favorite is Almar Cosmetics liners. Their liners are really good too if you want like a nice brown liner. So I have the MAC Cosmetics liners in the colors Cork and Chestnut. I'm gonna go in with Cork first, which is the lightest shade, and I'm just going to outline my lips. I do like to overline just a little bit. Sometimes I'll go in with my brush that I used earlier for my concealer, whatever leftover product is on it. This is the 248 brush by MAC, and I'll just go in and clean up a little bit of mistakes. I do like it to look very clean. And then I'll go in with the darker color Chestnut, and I like to put this color on the edges because it definitely gives you that like plump look. This lipstick by Morphe. It's called First Base. I like to put this in the center of my lip. I usually like to put a gloss with it because I just like it better with a gloss. For a gloss, I'm going to be using Haas Laboratories in the color Laureate. This is a really pretty over the top. It is more peachy, but it looks pretty altogether. Now I'm going to do my eyes off camera and then I'll come back and show you the finished look. Okay guys, this is the finished look. I finished my eyes off camera, did something a little bit bold, really cute. All the details of the eye look will be down below. I did not film the eye look because it's very simple. And I have something similar to it actually, so I'll link that in the iCards for you guys to check out. But yeah, this is the finished look. I'm loving my base. It looks so flawless. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Coming soon, I will be recording how I edit my pictures and what I use for my pictures, as far as like apps, editing, and like equipment, and even a little bit of tips of how I film for my reels and TikToks and stuff like that for you guys as well. Stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!